Nobody tells you this before you sign up. The badge doesn't protect you. It just makes you a target. For the streets, for the system, for yourself. 1 in 3 officers will develop PTSD. Most marriages won't survive it. And by the end, you won't even recognize the person you became. This is what really happens when you become a police officer. The decision. You're 22 and you want to mean something. That's really what this is. Not the salary. Starting pay in most departments is barely $40,000. Not the schedule, rotating shifts that destroy your sleep cycle permanently. You want to matter. You want to be the person who shows up when everything goes wrong. So you apply, and the department immediately starts pulling you apart. They interview your old teachers, your ex, your neighbors. They dig through your finances. They screen your psychology. Because they need to know one thing before they hand you a gun and a badge. When the pressure comes, and it always comes, which way do you break? You pass, you're in, and you still have no idea what you just signed up for. The academy changes you before the streets do. The academy doesn't just train your body, it rewires your brain. Every scenario they run, the fake domestic, the fake shooter, the instructor screaming in your face, is designed to make your nervous system stop reacting like a civilian. They're building a new default setting inside you. Threat first, everything else second. Psychologists call it hypervigilance. You'll carry it forever. Off-duty, at restaurants, at your kid's birthday party, you'll sit with your back to the wall and your eyes on the door. You'll scan every person who walks in. Your brain won't be able to switch off the mode they spent 26 weeks installing. Nobody in the academy tells you this is the beginning of the damage. They just call it situational awareness and tell you it'll keep you alive. They're not wrong. They're just not telling you the full cost. The street teaches what the academy couldn't. Your first year on patrol, you respond to over 200 calls. On average, officers face more than 3 traumatic incidents every 6 months. The average person encounters 2 or 3 in a lifetime. You see things that don't leave. A child found in a locked car in summer heat. A man who jumped from a bridge and almost made it. You write the report. You go back on patrol. Nobody asks how you're doing. The culture doesn't allow it. You're supposed to be built for this. So you learn the mask. Chest out, voice flat, emotions buried. At home, your partner notices you've gone quiet. Not peaceful quiet, hollow quiet, like something drained out of you on a shift, and you just haven't told them yet. Because how do you explain what you saw? And even if you tried, would they ever look at you the same way? Level 4. The system starts showing its cracks. 5 years in, you know how this works now. Not from the manual, from watching. You watch good arrests go nowhere because a prosecutor won't take a weak case. You watch people you arrested 3 times this month walk free by Friday. You watch which officers get the good assignments and how they got them. It wasn't always merit. The unwritten rules show up slowly. Don't make your supervisor look bad publicly. Don't write a report that creates paperwork nobody wants. Don't be the one who talks to internal affairs unless you want to be frozen out. There's a name for the pressure to stay silent, the code of silence. Some call it loyalty, others call it survival. You're starting to learn the difference, and it's making you uncomfortable in ways you don't know how to process yet. Level 5. Your marriage is in trouble, and you're the last to admit it. Studies show police officers divorce at rates between 60 and 70%. You used to think that was someone else's problem. Your partner didn't fall out of love with you. They fell out of love with the version of you that came back from the job. The hypervigilance that keeps you safe on the street makes you exhausting at home. You're controlling about routines. You read threat into neutral situations. You go silent for days after a bad call and call it being fine. Your kids learn to read your moods before they learn to read books. They know when not to run to you. They know when you're somewhere else even while sitting at the dinner table. Your spouse starts making decisions without you, not out of spite, but because you're rarely really there. One night they say, "I feel like I'm raising this family alone." You don't argue. You can't. Level 6. The thing nobody talks about, what the job does to your morals. 10 years in, you have a moment that shakes you. You're interviewing a suspect, young, nervous, clearly knows something, and you realize you're using pressure tactics that feel uncomfortably close to manipulation. It works, he talks, the case closes. But on the drive home, you sit with a question you can't shake. When exactly did the end start justifying the means? This is what researchers call noble cause corruption. Officers who start bending rules, not for money or power, but because they genuinely believe the outcome is right. It doesn't start with dirty cops, it starts with tired ones who've seen too many guilty people walk free on technicalities, ones who stopped trusting the system and started trusting their own judgment instead. You're not a bad person, you're a person the job has slowly, quietly rearranged.
Level 7. Promoted, and more trapped than ever. You make sergeant. You now sit between the officers you came up with and the command staff above you, and you quickly learn both sides want something from you, and loyalty to one costs you with the other. The politics get thick. Promotions in some departments are quietly tied to who you know, what you overlook, and how well you make the numbers look. An officer on your squad files a complaint against another. You investigate. The evidence is clear. You write an honest report. Your lieutenant calls you in and suggests you reconsider the framing. When you don't, you find out what it means to be inconvenient to the people above you. Whistleblowers in law enforcement face retaliation in ways the public rarely sees. Reassignment, isolation, career slowdowns, trumped-up internal complaints. The system doesn't always punish the corrupt. Sometimes it punishes the ones who notice. Level 8. 15 years in. You haven't slept through the night in 2 years. You drink more than you used to. Not heavily, just consistently, which is sometimes worse. You've had 3 or 4 moments on duty where your reaction was too fast, too hard, and you knew it afterward. You filed the paperwork the way you were taught, clean. Nearly 1 in 3 officers who experience traumatic events develop PTSD, but most never report it because a mental health flag in your file can stall your career, get you pulled from duty, and mark you in a culture that still quietly treats emotional struggle as weakness. So you manage it alone. You get good at performing okay. Your colleagues do the same. None of you talk about it. You're all performing the same lie in the same locker room every shift. Level 9. A video surfaces. One of your officers. A split-second decision on a call that went wrong. You weren't there, but your name is on the division. The city needs a narrative. The department needs protection. And what you learn in the weeks that follow is that institutional loyalty only runs downward until it doesn't. The same brass who told officers to be aggressive in high-crime areas are now using careful language in press conferences. The same policies that created the conditions for what happened are quietly rewritten, backdated in spirit, if not in letter. The officer is left exposed. The system moves to protect itself. You watch it happen from the inside and understand something fully for the first time. The department is not a family, it's a structure, and structures protect themselves first. Level 10. You retire. There's a ceremony, a plaque, some applause, and then silence. A silence louder than anything you ever heard on the street. Your body carries 25 years of shift work, adrenaline spikes, and suppressed trauma. Your sleep is still broken. Your kids are grown and somewhat distant, not resentful, just shaped by years of a parent who was physically present, but emotionally somewhere else. Your marriage either survived by becoming something quieter than love, or it didn't survive at all. You gave this job everything it asked for. Your time, your health, your version of normal. And here's the part nobody puts in the brochure. The job doesn't grieve you when you leave. There's another badge being pinned right now. Another person who wants to mean something. They have no idea what it costs, but they'll find out. They always do.